So today what we're going to look at is one of the things that I'm pretty knowledgeable about is basketball cards. Maybe sports cards in general. You know, if you watch other YouTube channels that focus on sports cards, you will one of the things you'll see a lot of people say, and I've said this myself, is I've been collecting baseball cards since I was 6 months old, and Um, you know, well, probably half of America who's over 50, over 45, has been collecting. That's all there was. When I was a kid, you went to the grocery store or the candy store, and they had baseball cards there for a quarter. And you picked up packs and you traded with your friends, and that's all that was on TV was baseball for the most part during that season. So you knew who all the baseball players were. You knew all the good football players were, and so that was just part of the culture. American culture really was baseball cards and sports during the '70s. I'm saying. Obviously, things have changed incredibly since then, and since every few years now, things change incredibly. And people use sports cards as investments. All cards, all trading cards, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, all of that, right? Uh, Everything that's tangible that you can hold in your hand, people use as investments. You put them in your safety deposit box, you put them in your safe, you put them on your wall, your shelf, whatever you do. But people, and and as a hedge against inflation, well, not a bad idea, right? I mean, when I was a kid, a gallon of milk was 50 cents, 60 cents, something like that. And now it's, what, $5? So 10x, you know, Jordan cards. So I can't remember every price. For some reason, I remember Jordan at some point, his PSA 10, I remember it being about 200,000. I remember it being 200,000, and that wasn't too long ago. We're talking years. I don't have a card ladder or anything like that up. You could price check me, but obviously at some point in the past it was 200,000. But I don't think it was 10 years ago. I think 10 years ago it was like 50,000 or something like that, if I remember correctly. So if it was 40,000 10 years ago, just for example, and it's 400, it's selling for, right? That's what the green, for those of you who don't know, if you click advanced and you click sold, the numbers come up green because that's what it recently sold for, and it shows the date on March 3rd. PSA 10 Michael Jordan rookie card sold for $400,000. That is 3 weeks ago. So if 10 years ago the card was selling for 40,000, for example, that's 10x in 10 years. I said a gallon of milk was 50 cents, whatever it was, close to that. 50 years ago, and that's 10x over 50 years. So it's a pretty big difference. I'm just saying, are we comparing apples to oranges, or oranges to spaceships? Whatever. Uh, Michael Jordans are a better investment than gallons of milk. That's the point I'm making. So I put basketball in to get, you can't, it's very, you can't put in trading cards. So you have to put in, when you do the search on eBay, you have to put in a name, something. So we're gonna look at, like I said, basketball cards are my forte. That's what we're gonna look at. Michael Jordan, Victor Wembanyama, $250,000. Kid just started playing. His car's selling for $250,000. Whatever, if that's crazy. I don't know what this person accepted as their um, best offer, but for I know his cards were selling for under way under 10,000. I'd like to look at that. I'm not gonna look at it now. I'm gonna stay focused. So I'll come back to that. All right. So we got Jordan, Victor Wembanyama. I don't know if that Jay-Z so far. We have LeBron Exquisite, Jordan Star, Jordan Kobe Auto, Gem Mint, Jordan Star, Jordan Star, Jordan Star, Jordan Insert, Jordan Star, Kevin Durant 1-1 Kaboom. That's crazy. That's a ridiculous, ridiculous card. Whatever they paid, my best offer, you don't know what they paid for it. I'm gonna assume it's probably not under 50,000. I shouldn't make that assumption, but probably not. I mean, that's a ridiculous card. When he's an all-time great, top 20 all-time. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if that's. I mean, that's gonna be a $250,000 card, maybe 20 years from now. But will that be the same as inflation? That's another question. How inflation plays into all this is very important. So, Jordan, Platinum 9.5, Victor Wembanyama. I would never, never, never invest into a rookie at these prices. So, do you know how much? And you can look this up on Card Ladder, or you can't find it on eBay because eBay only goes back 3 months. Do you know what LeBron James? I mean, obviously, at some point, everything was selling cheap, but this was expensive. I remember in 2009 when I was searching for LeBron James cards, and I know it was 2009 because I know where I was living and I know where I was at. That's how I know it was 2009. So you could look it up yourself. His one of his iconic rookie cards was selling for, I think it was like $75 raw, and maybe it was like if a PSA 10 was like 150 or something like that, and it's now thousands of dollars. Not the refractor or the chrome, but the other one. If I see it, I'll show it to you. But now it's like, I don't know, $2,000 or something like that. And 15 years ago, it was 150. So that's, again, 10x in 15 years. So a lot of this is gamble, right? It's a gamble. And how you understand the sports card market is very important. And if you're reacting off of emotions, I'm not even going to say 9 out of 10. I won't even say 99 out of 100. I'm going to say 999 out of 1,000 times you're going to lose money if you're if you're buying on emotion. Does that mean that this card's not going to be worth $1 million in 20 years? It depends. You know, Blake Griffin was one of the most iconic and People loved him. Even when he was on the Celtics, he was getting standing ovations when he was doing his for doing a dunk because he's one of the most iconic dunkers of all time. He's his rookie year was 2009. Even though I think he was on injured, and he officially started playing 2010. But his rookie year 2009, his rookie cards of 2009 are with Steph Curry is in 2009. Um, Drew Holiday is 2009. Um, DeMar DeRozan is 2009. James Harden is 2009. So there's a bunch of really great players who started in 2009. If you and probably out of all those players, the one who people would have thought would have went the furthest would have been Blake Griffin. He was jumping over Akia's. I mean, forget about it. This guy was super duper popular. He was playing with Chris Paul on the Clippers, and his autographed PSA 10 cards 10 years ago were probably about, um, when he was still on the Clippers, were probably about $70. His rookie autograph cards, PSA 10 Gem Mint, were probably about 75 bucks, let's say. Today they're 200. It's not even keeping up with inflation. If Steph Curry cards, rookie autograph PSA 10, probably the year he came out, they were 100 bucks probably, maybe less because he was a nobody. There were some people who thought he was pretty good, but nobody thought he was going to be anything for years. Years. His rookie autograph cards are $100,000 now. Some of them. Some of them are 20, $30,000. But I mean, if you bought it, even if you bought it for 500 bucks, which they weren't 500 bucks in 2010, I could tell you that now. They were probably, $100 in 2010. But let's say they were five. That would be 10x at 5,000. At 20,000, you're talking about 40x. You load. I mean, if you bought even at $500, if you bought 10 of them, and if they're $20,000 a piece, which 500 back then was fun. I wasn't buying the LeBron James cards at 75 bucks or 100 bucks. I wasn't buying them. I was like, oh man, that was a lot of money. In 2009, $150 for a regular kind of card. It was like, oh, LeBron. I mean, that's what they were selling for. That was big. His raw rookie card was selling for 75. I remember. His PSA 10s, I think, were 150, something like that. And that was big, big money. I mean, if you made, $450 a week, you were doing good. That was a good job in 2009. So you're going to take 33% of each check and you're going to drop it on a LeBron James card? Probably not. Meanwhile, in 2010, the Steph Curry was probably the same price. And anyway, my point being that you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. And you don't know what's going to happen with inflation. You don't know. $32,000. Patrick Mahomes, $30,000. So this card here, right? This is the refractor PSA 10. LeBron is 30,000. This is one of them that it came in a base card, and that's one of them that was like 150 bucks in 2009. PSA 10, something like that, give or take. This is the chrome refractive version. Then there's the base version. I think now that's probably like, I could tell you. We'll take refractor out, and we'll take chrome out. And I'll tell you exactly what it costs. Like I said, it was about $100 to $200 in 2009. It only comes in chrome. Did I put chrome in? All right, it only comes in chrome. So maybe it was the chrome one I was thinking of. For some reason I thought there was. Let's take out 2011. 111, excuse me. See if we can find a card I was thinking. I think that's the card I was thinking about. But let's just go to. It's definitely in the thousands. All right, and that's an old label that would sell for a little bit less. All right, so let's call it. See this one. This is one of them that comes in chrome, and I believe refractor. I know it comes in chrome. Probably comes in both. But let's call it $2,000, and it was 200. So it's 10x. Maybe it was 180. You follow me? So I was pretty on cue with the. This is the. This one also comes in chrome, and I think also refractor. And those are big bucks like we're looking at here. So they're about $2,000, like I was saying. PSA 10. They 10x'd since 2009. But if you would have told somebody that that car was going to be worth 10x, I mean, if you knew it, you would have bought it, right? It would have sold for more. So if you collect basketball cards and you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on sports cards, then you know what I'm talking about already. Then this is not news. But I'm going to assume that that's a very small percentage of the population that are spending thousands of dollars on sports cards. So, for those who are thinking about doing it, you have to be very careful with spending emotionally. I guess that's kind of my point of this video, is to show what this isn't even his. This is Steph Curry. This isn't even his rookie card. And whatever its best offer could be 10,000, 15,000, who knows? But the point is that's not even his rookie card, and it's 20 grand. And I said 20 grand for his PSA 10 rookie card before. Meanwhile, I think there was one up here that was like a lot more. Let's see if it comes up. I thought there was one here. Look at this. Draymond Green rookie card, but it's numbered out of 10. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's not in the category of LeBron or Michael Jordan or Steph Curry, and people are paying big dollars. Yeah, here goes the one that we looked at. I think that was it. All right, let me come back down to where we were at before. So you have to be very careful because, right, what is it? What is it that you want to do? What is it that we all want to do? We all want to spend a few $100 and have a card 10, 20, 30, 40x in 10 years, let's say. That's what we all want. And Anthony Edwards, I mean, when he first came on, this card was I mean, everything was much less before, but to think $20,000 for someone who's been playing for, you know, going on 4 years, that's bananas. Here goes a Steph Curry. Uh, and this card here for Blake Griffin, let's say this is 15,000. Let's say it's $10,000. This card, the Blake Griffin version, and I guarantee you the Steph Curry was less than the Blake Griffin version, or at the same price in 2009-10. Except the Blake Griffin PSA 9 of this card is $200. So the PSA 9 Blake Griffin of that card's 200, but they were the same price in 2010. They were both probably about a PSA 9. They were probably both about 40, $50 in 2010, maybe $30. and now Steph Curry's is $10,000. Cash money paid. I I got a bunch of the Blake Griffins. That's how I know the prices because I was into Blake Griffin, and I should have bought Steph Curry, but I didn't know, right? Nobody. If you had a crystal ball, you just want to know the lotto numbers, and you call it a wrap right there. So you have to be very, very careful with how you spend your money on trading cards, sports cards, whatever it is. The if there was Everything sounds like common sense, but once you mix emotions into your practice, your purchasing practice, you're done. 999 times, yeah, the one out of 1,000 gets lucky. The person who liked Steph Curry in 2010 because I don't know, they like curry food. He had a cool name. That person's rich today. Oh man, curry. Yeah, I love eating curry, so I'm gonna buy Steph Curry's basketball cards 'cause that's cool. That person, that one out of a million person who said that, and they kept his cards, they're multi millionaires for a few $1,000s, right? At 10,000 a piece, even if they were $100, forget it. If you spent 5, 10 grand on it, you're a multi-millionaire right now. Steph Curry won one. Prism. Steph Curry, 2017. Here's his other one. Oh, this is the Chrome one. Yeah, I got a bunch of these too. This is a PSA 10. $17,500. It's crazy. But can research be the answer? Part of it. Part of it. Is this you know Wembayama that someone just paid $16,000 for? Is this going to be worth $160,000 in 10 years? I would be shocked. I would be shocked. I would be more shocked if it was worth over 100,000 in 10 years than I would if it was worth $500 in 10 years. That wouldn't surprise me. So, the Jordans, these cards, good solid investment, right? I mean, now at some point they were very, very high and they came down a lot. So if you bought at the top thinking it was going to go higher, so you have to understand markets, and understanding the stock market helps with this. So right now when the stock markets are at all-time highs, and you look at how they if you try to analyze where they're going to go in the future by the past, it's a pretty good indicator, right? By percentages and distance between the last crash. If you start to understand that, same thing goes with sports cards and other cards. They go up and down. If you buy at the top and then you wait for the crash and then you wait for it to go back up again, so you're really losing money because of inflation, right? If you lose half your money through inflation, but you're selling it for what you paid for it 10 years later, then really you lost half your money because inflation ate. I'm just saying in this example, inflation ain't half your money. So you have to be very careful with precious metal gems. These were super duper crazy cards when they first came out in 1997. I think the Jordan Green Authentic is like, I don't know, millions of dollars. Not millions, but like $500,000 or $1 million. PMG. See, it comes right up. Precious metal gems green. Well, look at all of them. They want $2,000. This is for a 2021. Let's go highest first. They don't even have the green out here. The green is like, forget about it. So they don't even have the 1997s out. They don't even have 1997s of his. We could look for it. We could look at advanced. Well, it would have came up. It would have came up in. It would have came up here. You have to go to like Card Ladder or something like that. So this one is whatever, $10,000 for the John Stockton PSA 5. It's crazy. But if you would have bought precious metal gems 10 years ago when they were in the hundreds, you know. Now, some people did. Some people went heavy duty on precious metal gems from the 90s because they knew that there was such unique cards and that they were remaking them and remaking them. Like I own some precious metal gems, the newer ones. They're called retros. And even though, and I bought them, which was, when you buy something at market value, it's always pretty much expensive because people are selling it, at what it's worth at that moment. So you're always paying top dollar at market value. But I was able to see when I saw I bought LeBron James retro precious metal gems. I bought Wayne Gretzky retro precious metal gems because they were cheap. They were like $50. And I was like, there's no way these are staying at $50 now. LeBron James PMG. This is a good example. His highest one, his green, they want 200,000 for. Okay, his authentic, which is not even, it just means it's real. It could be cut. It could be authored, altered, and they still want 60 grand. Let's go lowest. The lowest LeBron James PMG that you can buy right now. That's auction. Buy it now. Buy it now. Is $449. That's the cheapest. Okay? The Larry Bird, the cheapest Larry Bird. Well, I shouldn't say that because we didn't type in Larry Bird. We typed in LeBron James. So the cheapest is 400. The cheapest. Then they shoot for an 8 out of 100. It shoots up to $600. This is the one I bought for $50. Okay? You cannot buy this now for under $700. I knew when I seen, and that I'm going back a couple years, I think, something like that. And I own either two or three of them. I don't remember. I definitely own at least two. It could be three, but I don't think I own four. Then I own like 10 Gretzky's. No, I own like 7 Gretzky's. I think I own 10 altogether. So I don't know what they are, but the LeBron's an easy. We're talking about basketball cards, so it's an easy comparison. So I bought the LeBrons at $50, and they're 700 now. You can't buy for under $700. Is that the same one that we saw? That's 600. Yeah, okay. Is it the same one? Out of 150? Okay, you can't buy for under 450. I'm sorry. This person wants 700. And this one, see, this is a better one because it's out of a, well, they might want it because it's red. Is it? Yeah. So gold or orange, it's not a popular color because the original. See, you have to know these things. If you don't know these things, you might make a wrong purchase. The original precious metal gems were just red and green. Right? Yeah, the red was out of 100 and the green was out of 10, something like that, or 50 and 10, something like that. So even though the orange is out of a lower serial number than the red, which is 150, People will probably want the red one first because it's related to the original precious metal gems. But $600, 450. I bought it at $50. It's basically 10x from 2 years ago because I saw how I was like I saw the value in them. I was like, there's no way a LeBron James retro precious metal gems is going to stay at $50. I said, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to get a couple of them, and I did, and it was a good investment. I still have them. So back to the cards. So that's all I want to go through is the difficulty of sports cards or other trading cards, and the difficulty to actually predict and forecast where they're going, and never buy with your heart unless it's cheap or it's not as an investment. Then I guess that's fine. But as an investment, right, for someone who invests in precious metals, maybe invests in coins, and who is investing in sports cards, trading cards, or is thinking about it, then do not purchase with emotionally. Now, 1 out of 1,000 times, yeah, you can get lucky. But 999 out of 1,000 times, you're gonna lose money if you are emotionally purchasing. Jalen Williams. That's been. I mean, it's a beautiful card. Is it going to be worth 16,000? I mean, first of all, if inflation doubles in the next 10 years, to break. Remember, so some now is a hedge against inflation. What's a hedge against inflation? A hedge against inflation is when something keeps up with inflation. So let's say if this card is worth $30,000 in 10 years, the Jalen Williams here, and inflation doubles, then it was a good hedge against inflation. If it's still worth $15,000 10 years ago and inflation doubled, then you lost half your money. Then not a good hedge against inflation. Look at all these Jordans. People buy all these Jordans for a reason because they know it's a good hedge against inflation. They know. Historically, it's kept up with inflation or outdone inflation, or they see something coming. I mean, he's a young person. I think he's in his 50s, so it's not like and even that, right? When somebody passes away and prices go up, 9 out of 10 times they come right back down. Kobe's went through the roof, God rest his soul, and then now they're, you know, you could, I think you can get his cars were selling for like whatever 30, 40x, and now they're back to here's a Kobe, you know, that's expensive. I mean, I don't know what it sold for, but look at this. Yeah, you probably would have got this card raw for $20 in 2010, maybe $10. Okay, so I'm gonna end it there. I went pretty in detail and depth regarding um, words of caution with investing in sports cards and trading cards, and not to invest emotionally, and to do some research. Look at this, and this is auction. Yeah, Guinness entered the Copo, $14,000 for his rookie 9.5. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for these cards. Not the person, So just you have to be careful. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed that. Please click like and subscribe. I like doing little videos like this when I'm doing my own personal research on investments, and I'll share them with you if I remember to to record them. Okay, and I'll see you on the next one.